The Curse of Oak Island preview. Team digs up more of stone roadway and examines ancient Portuguese church. This week on The Curse of Oak Island, members of the team attempt to locate and dig up an extension of the mysterious stone roadway while the rest of the guys examine a Portuguese church that resembles the Money Pit. At the Money Pit, drilling is still ongoing with the fifth and final caisson. However, it looks like most of tonight's action will be taking place elsewhere on the island. Marty Lagina gets back in a digger as the guys look for an extension to the cobblestone road. Has Marty Lagina found an extension to the Oak Island stone roadway? Ever since the team unearthed the strange stone roadway emanating from the swamp, they have theorized that the road stretched from a wharf in the swamp to the Money Pit, and that it was used to transport the treasure. The guys have recently increased efforts to find more of this road, particularly the missing link to the Money Pit, and a preview for tonight's show suggests they may have found it. In an undisclosed area of Oak Island, Marty uncovers a large amount of stone cobbles and says, "I'm wondering if that's it already." Marty will be absolutely thrilled if he can get one over his big brother by finding something really significant while Rick is away. Meanwhile, Doug Crowell, Rick and Alex Lodina, and Peter Fornetti are still on the other side of the Atlantic hunting for clues in Portugal that might connect the Templar Knights to Oak Island. The four initially set out to examine two churches associated with the ancient medieval order of the Templar Knights, where they thought they might find an archive or a symbol or anything to link the Knights with buried treasure on Oak Island. Portuguese church mirrors design of original Oak Island Money Pit. Tonight they'll be visiting the Convento de Cristo, a Templar stronghold in Tomar, Portugal, which appears to be a particularly ancient, beautiful, and well-preserved church. The guys are seen descending a winding staircase within an ornate ancient shaft in a preview. Excitingly, Doug can be heard comparing its design to that of the original Money Pit. Last week, the intrepid explorers examined an old Roman road, which looked almost identical in style and construction to the Oak Island roadway. This will perhaps mean that Marty's find of a possible extension to the road will take on a deeper significance. The History Channel episode description alludes to all of the above by reading. Time is rapidly running out for the guys this season. Fingers crossed they can pull a really significant find out of the bag before operations are wound down. On the next gripping episode of The Curse of Oak Island, Rick and Marty Lagina, along with their loyal team of treasure hunters, are once again defying the odds and digging deeper than ever. With another thrilling season well underway, the brothers' decades-long obsession is driving them to exciting new frontiers both above and below ground. The preview teases a week packed with revelations as the team uncovers even more of the mysterious stone roadway and travels overseas to examine an ancient Portuguese church that could hold the key to the entire Oak Island mystery. The stone roadway reveals more secrets. Back in the swamp, where countless strange discoveries have already rewritten parts of the island's history, the crew is making major progress. Heavy machinery grinds and rumbles as archaeologist Miriam Amaralt and swamp expert Dr. Ian Spooner join forces to expand the excavation of the centuries-old stone roadway. Each carefully unearthed slab appears to be laid with purpose, suggesting skilled hands and a goal far more elaborate than simple construction. As more of the cobbled path is exposed, the shape becomes clearer. What looked like a random alignment of stones now takes on the distinct curve of a transportation route. Could it have once connected the Money Pit to the island's shores? Or might it have been used to bring in heavy cargo, perhaps even treasure? Marty, visibly energized by the progress, remarks, "You don't build a road like this in a swamp unless you're moving something really important." Rick, ever the thoughtful historian, chimes in, "We might be walking the same path as the people who buried something here centuries ago." Gary Drayton swings his trusty metal detector across the freshly exposed surface, and when it beeps, the whole team leans in. From the damp earth, Gary extracts a rusted but unmistakably old iron object, possibly a tool or fastening device. He wipes it clean and grins. "This baby's got age, and look at the craftsmanship. That ain't just trash, it's part of the story." The find is rushed to the lab for testing. Meanwhile, the excitement builds, especially when they're Niven, the team's lead archaeologist, declares that the type of stone used in the road is similar to what's found in parts of Europe, particularly Portugal. This revelation dovetails perfectly with another exciting development teased in the preview. Rick and historian Doug Crowell are headed to Portugal. Their destination? A centuries-old stone church nestled in the remote hills of the Portuguese countryside. a place whispered about in Templar legends and rumored to be connected to secret voyages across the Atlantic. The episode takes viewers on a journey as Rick and Doug walk the cobbled paths of the church grounds, their faces lit with awe and curiosity. The structure, weathered but majestic, stands as a monument to craftsmanship lost to time. Inside, they find carvings, crosses, geometric patterns, and nautical symbols that eerily mirror some of the markings found on Oak Island. One stone slab in the church's foundation draws special attention. It features a triangle surrounding a cross, similar to symbols found in the mysterious stone chapel site on Oak Island. "It's like seeing a ghost," Rick mutters, kneeling beside the engraving. This could be the blueprint. The local historian they've brought along, Professor Duarte Amaral, explains the church was once used by a secretive maritime order tied to the Knights Templar and Portuguese navigators. They disappeared from public records in the early 1500s, he says. Many believe they sailed west, long before Columbus. Some say they were guardians of a sacred treasure. Rick looks stunned. If they made it to Oak Island, that changes everything. New clues, old questions. Back on the island, Jack Begley and Charles Barkhouse go over the updated maps of the swamp excavation. With new ground-penetrating radar data in hand, the two spot something buried just beyond the edge of the newly uncovered road. It's too regular in shape to be a natural formation, suggesting perhaps a hidden chamber or even a vault. "This could be it," Jack says breathlessly. "The road leads here. This might be what they were protecting." A drilling rig is brought in to core the area. As the bit descends, the team watches the monitor nervously. At roughly 95 feet, they hit something solid. The pressure reading spikes. Everyone holds their breath. "You're through something. Man-made," the operator says. Could it be another tunnel system? A booby-trapped vault? Or the long-fabled chapel vault, where a box of gold was once sighted? Meanwhile, Gary continues his sweep near the path and uncovers a small tarnished coin. A closer look reveals an emblem of a Portuguese cross and faint Latin writing, an extraordinary find that seems to link the island's secrets even more directly to the Portuguese church Rick and Doug just visited. Theories collide. Back at the war room, the team gathers around the round table to share findings. Marty, never one to get carried away, is unusually excited. If this church in Portugal is connected, if those same masons or navigators came here, built a road, buried something, it explains why we keep finding European artifacts in Nova Scotia. Dove agrees. The road may have been their final route. And whatever lies at the end of it, whether it's treasure, religious relics, or a historical truth, could be what they came here to protect. Dr. Spooner notes that the swamp's layered soil and stone design would have preserved any buried structure. If something is down there, the environment may have kept it intact, he says. But Laird raises a cautious note. We're close to the truth, but remember, this is still an active dig site. We need to be careful. Too much disruption and we risk losing key context. The mystery deepens. As the preview ends, viewers are treated to a montage. Rick standing in the shadow of the ancient Portuguese church, Marty inspecting core samples under bright lights, and the team digging with renewed determination beneath the stone roadway. The closing shot shows a strange, carved stone being pulled from the earth, half covered in dirt, but clearly significant. The camera zooms in. Just before the screen fades to black, an eerie triangle and cross symbol glints in the sunlight. Could this be the final stretch in their decades-long quest? Or is Oak Island about to open yet another chapter in its endless riddle? One thing is clear, this week's episode of The Curse of Oak Island promises to be one of the most revealing yet. Fans won't want to miss a minute.